The RRB NTPC CBT 2 examination has been conducted today successfully in 2 shifts, and I'm here with a brief analysis about how the exam was, what kind of questions, what kind of topics were the questions asked from. Can you expect, would you expect this to be, or would you call this to be a paper which was at par the previous year exams of RRB, or was there, were there a lot of changes which were observed? So overall, this session is going to give you a good description about what all happened in the NTPC CBT 2. So let's start. I'll start with the general overall exam analysis with you. Of course, there were 120 questions which were broken down into the general expected subject-wise divisions, which are 35 quant-based questions, 35 reasoning-based questions, and 50 GK and current affairs and GS based questions. This also had computer based questions this year. So a lot of questions from computers were asked unexpectedly. That is what a lot of students have been saying. And they are not accurate exact numbers. Quant and LR, 1 or 2 questions here and there we could see. Right? Question overall paper was considered to be of moderate level. And the next point is actually very important, where some students, commonly when I ask questions, my questions always surround around the fact that if I compare NTPC CBT 2 or CBT 1 or the particular examination with some other parallel exam, then what was the difference in difficulty level? And a lot of students who have given CGL Tier 2 in the past and NTPC CBT 2 in the past have compared and said that this time NTPC CBT 2 was of a better level, of slightly difficult level as compared to CGL. So NTPC has, RRB has upped the game, and this time you will actually feel that there was a difference in CBT 1 and CBT 2, a significant difference, not only in the number of questions, but also in the overall approach and difficulty. Now, by difficulty, I am repeatedly using the word difficulty, but that does not imply that the questions were difficult or undoable. The questions were doable. The only problem was the length of the questions, the time taken for a student to solve a question. So it was not only about solving everything, but having a good restraint while you're solving the questions. You needed to be very sure of what you need to get into and what you need to get out of. What questions you need to choose, what questions you need to leave. That strategy, if kept in mind, could have led to a very good attempt for a lot of students. So pattern, again, as I told you, 35 maths, reasoning, 50 general, questions being mixed and not section wise is a very important point. A lot of students had this question, that were the questions divided section wise or were they mixed? So yes, they were mixed like CBT 1. They were random questions, randomly some quant question popped up, then maybe 2-3 quant questions, then suddenly a reasoning question, then 2-3 GK questions. So they were all mixed and match. Right? So your strategy was being built as you solved the paper. It could not have been preset. Section wise papers give you an upper hand. Why? Because you are set that okay, while solving the quant section I'm going to think like this, this much should be the time limit. While solving the reasoning section I have to think like this, GKJ section like this. But that was not the case here. The sections, the questions were all mixed, so you had to take the questions head on as and when they came, and that watches a lot of students' approach. 90 to 95 is considered to be a good attempt for the general category, of course with 90% plus accuracy. Now here a lot of students did contact me, I will not lie to you, where they are claiming numbers of above 100. So that I am assuming that to be an inflated number, but don't go with these assumptions going around. So I think 90 to 95 is still a decent number if you are from a general category, and there is a good chance. Why? Because the more the number of attempts are, the higher the chances of accuracy levels falling down. And if you end up having a lot of negatives, that takes away from the chunk. So that's useless totally. We'll dive into the details subject wise. Yes, Sumit, both English and Hindi. So for mathematics, more questions were seen on the arithmetic section and some questions from advanced section. So if I compare the quant section, let's say 35 questions, I would say above 20 questions were from the arithmetic section and a few were from the advanced section. Questions from mensuration were seen in advanced section, specifically from finding the volume of a cylinder. There was a question based on that. I don't know the exact wordings, but yes, that's it. 4 to 5 questions were of high difficulty level. Again, using the word difficulty here does not mean that the questions were unsolvable. They were very much solvable. The only point being that they were calculating. calculative. So the problem was, when you get into the question, you will realize that okay, this is highly calculative, and now you have to decide the course whether you need to go forward or not. So that was challenging. Otherwise, majorly quant was doable, it was good. But if I compare the three sections, I would call reasoning section to be the most easy, quant to be at the second position, and GK/GS, of course. See, I know it was very easy as compared to other GK/GS sections in the past, but still, I mean, it still has that novelty factor, that surprise factor. So hence, I will consider GK/GS to be one of the most, one of the moderate or tough sections of the examination. Good attempts are 28 to 30 out of 35 questions answered correctly with less negative marking. So accuracy levels have to be high. These good attempts are based on that. Common topics, number systems, you got through 3-4 questions, including questions on HCF, LCM. Some students claimed that simplification based 2 questions were incorrect. 2 questions in the same shift from simplification were incorrect, but I'm not sure how credible these are, because a lot of students also negated those claims by saying that the questions were not incorrect. So be careful about this. Don't fall into judgments very soon. You have to think about how you felt while attempting the examination. 2 to 3 questions from simplification were seen. Averages, percentage, profit loss, boat and stream, 3D and 2D mensuration, as I told you, cylinder area, volume, sorry. SICI 2-3 questions, train speed, distance 2 questions, and more, of course. Right? So these were the common topics which we saw. Now moving on to the reasoning section. Okay, Sumit has also said there was a wrong question in math. Exactly. So that is what I am saying, that students are claiming that there were incorrect questions. But because I am not sure, because one student might feel that there was something wrong, because you are set in a certain mindset when you are actually solving the exam, the question. But probably when you come out, when you look at the answer key, you will be like, okay, I did not think like this. Right? So that flow always is there. Having a lot of incorrect questions, the chances are rare. So let's not get into that, is what I'm saying. I cannot claim that yes, they were incorrect unless I see them. That's the problem. So reasoning was very easy, except for a few questions. Again, they were slightly lengthy. I'm not saying lengthy normally. I'm not saying lengthy like CAT level or banking level. I'm saying lengthy comparatively. If you compare with previous year questions, or let's say even questions in this section today, you will find out that some questions, 4-5 questions were actually, not even 4-5, 2-3 questions were actually slightly different than what it was assumed to be. Otherwise, very easy questions. The maximum attempt you can expect from the reasoning section only. 30 to 32 questions you can easily attempt out of 35, easily. Right? Syllogism, common topic, 1 question was there, very easy and direct, no possibility. Statement conclusion, that is critical reasoning. Analogy, 2 questions, majorly letter analogy, number analogy. Letter series also saw question, alphabetical series. Blood relation, 1 question. Direction, one student was saying that direction question was time taking. Now in the previous, I took another session on the Hindi channel, and there also some students informed that the direction based question was actually 2 people starting from 2 different directions, 2 different points in different directions. So probably that is why they felt that the questions were time consuming. But so probably this can still hold true. I was negating this in the past, but maybe the direction based question was actually time consuming. There was a question, coding, decoding, 4-5 questions, out of which 1 was slightly difficult. The approach was different. Actually finding the correct logic during the exam was not very easy for that. Seating arrangement, they are saying 4 questions, but I think there was 1 linear based seating, 1 square table based, square shape based seating. Then there was a question based on comparison or order, height based arrangement, and a puzzle based question which was case based. Okay, and because it was case based, it became lengthy for a lot of students, because usually you might have a habit of coming across questions in the puzzle section, both in SSC and railways in RRB exams, where they are almost direct. They are almost direct with a lot of positive information, less negative information, and you're able to get to the conclusions very fast, just by merely maybe drawing and placing here and there. So you don't have to remember a lot of data. Otherwise, case based is how puzzles are actually solved. You make 2-3 cases. Banking based questions can have up to 5 or 6 cases also parallelly, simultaneously, and then you end up eliminating, and in the end you get the 1 correct perfect sitting. But that was not the case seen here, but at least there were case based questions. 1 was a case based puzzle. So hence the reasoning section seemed to be lengthy for that 1 question, 1 or 2 questions here and there. Majorly it was good. Now, if I talk about general studies or general awareness, questions were conventional and traditional. That is, if you have, practiced the previous year questions, and this I can conclude for the whole exam. NTPC CBT2 in general was at par your previous year papers only, previous year questions levels only. Just that a few questions here and there, probably it felt like, in English, in India, when we cook food, there is a tempering which is done. In Hindi, you call it tadka. I'm not sure what you call it in your regional language. So tempering elevates the taste of your food. So basically, it was a normal, regular food only, but there was some extra tempering done with those 4-5 questions in the quant section and in reasoning section, also in the GK/GS section, balancing it and raising the level, the bar at CBT2. Okay, a tier 2 level examination. Good attempts here are 35 to 38 out of 50. Again, this is subjective and this depends on student to student. But a lot of students again claimed, even in the previous video, in the previous session, they claimed that 15 to 20 questions are very easy. So that is a benchmark. Everybody has to do those questions. Then after that, whatever you build on it will make it more interesting and challenging from there. Okay, Sumit is 100% sure. Okay, perfect, fine, Sumit, not a problem at all, bacha. Perfect, thank you. Got it. So Sumit is also helping us a lot in the comment section. So that is an additional analysis which he is providing. So you can look at that and also understand what sort of an exam was there. He is claiming an incorrect question was there in the quant section. So probably other students have also claimed the simplification questions to be incorrect. So probably there was one question which was incorrect. Reasoning section, as he told, there are direction questions there which were slightly lengthy, slightly time consuming. So far the analysis is at par, it's going well. Current affairs section, they saw 10 to 12 questions, but this also shows that the questions were not prepared long before and then the paper was made. The questions were added at the very last moment because questions of September 2025 were also seen in the current affairs section. So this is something which shows that now I think probably the utilization of technology has started happening and the question bank is being updated more often. Questions from Game Awards, new appointments, CEOs, the head of BMW, the German company, the German automobile company was asked. Then from the computer section, you saw 4 to 6 questions. Now, computers usually 1 or 2 questions is always there in the RRB NTPC CBT2 exam. This time 4 to 6 questions were there. And so computers and current affairs formed a major chunk of the GK section. Polity, we saw 4 questions from articles, amendments, specific focus on Panchayati Raj, 2 questions were there. Geography 4 to 5. Moderate level questions, as question specifically related to Alfred Wegener was mentioned, right? Then science 6 to 7 questions, physics, chemistry, bio were asked and questions were conventional, something like Snell's law. Hopefully you all know based on refraction. History 2 to 3 questions were asked, economics 3 to 4 questions, static GK and miscellaneous. I've already told you about games and awards and miscellaneous topics were asked. But GK/GS, as once again I'll repeat that it was conventional, it was much similar to the previous year questions only and it was easy. In fact, after a long time I've seen students who are very happy after giving the GK section because you could answer actually. Mostly GK sections in examinations have become like, no matter how hard you study, you're never able to maintain that accuracy. But today that was not the case. Most of the students have reported that, right? As far as specific questions are concerned, if you are aware of the questions, you can put it here in the chat box. Some questions from history were asked as mentioned, and I can't recall immediately, but there were a lot of students who had given a lot of questions, actual questions in the GK section, which were posted in the comment box, live comment box. I think Sumit was also there in the session. So what I would request you is, if you're watching this video right now and if you remember of questions coming across, if you suddenly remember that, yeah, I remember this was asked, you can put it in the comment box after the session is over, so that other students also, when they watch the recorded version, they will understand that, okay, these were the questions which were asked and this is the kind of examination RRB has conducted for NTPC CBT 2. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. This was a brief analysis of the whole examination which was conducted today in the 2 shifts. I'll be seeing around, and a lot of students have also asked us about, what are the what can be the cutoff, okay, and what is the answer, when is the answer key expected. So answer key is most probably expected next week, and cutoff, again, Diwali might affect that, so we are not sure. And cutoff analysis, we are just compiling the data, and either me or Nishant sir will get back to you on this channel with in detail cutoff expected cutoff zone wise. Okay, so we are preparing that. This is a general table again. So roughly, if you are at the lower end here, not a problem. Okay, your accuracy will be pretty high. If you are at the above level here, 38, 32, 33, then maybe there is a good chance that your accuracy will be slightly affected, but overall you need to stay between 90 to 100 to have a good attempt and a good chance overall at the examination. Thank you so much for joining live, guys. I'll see you around. Till then, you guys take care. Bye bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Subscribe to the Oliveboard platform and share these videos across platforms so that other students can also benefit from these videos. Like the session. Thank you. Bye bye.